and saying we're seeing some loosening in the US economy related to hiring and people retention. Quality candidates are available, and employee turnover is decreasing. Competitive pressure for goods and services is increasing as supply is increases in revenue. So they were just citing, the report was just citing professional, scientific and tech services area there. Government budget cuts and layoffs are negatively impacting our operations. In regards to transportation and warehousing, we're still holding back some money for emergency use in case the new administration targets grant usage as a whole of current spending. In regards to wholesale trade, tariff confusion and variety of ways that suppliers are responding have had a strong effect on our purchasing decisions, causing us to shift spend and, in some cases, buy in advance of reported tariffs. We have posted out the report for you on the United States newsfeed.
Driver RTY short validated. EF short entered.
Are you guys hear me in YouTube land?
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software strategy. Websites and associated websites for digital links for educational purposes only should not be construed as express or implied on strategy to profit analysis any limited any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of employment in wholesale business trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and investors regardless of observation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations. Some futures talk herein. No representation is being made that any problem solving G props or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the method of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record completely accounts the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program is trading losses on material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these traits are not actually been estimated, the hypothetical results may or overcompensate for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to markets in general and implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results at all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to Mayhem. So the market's getting crushed here. Not a lot of, I haven't done a ton so far. You can see this bigger balance, so everything's fractal in the balance world. That's one bigger balance, breaking down into that. The rule of thumb is when you break out a balance, you usually will get the height of the balance. So this is basically 55 or 50 down to 55.50, so 300 points. So expect over the next couple days it should, that's what it should do, at least move 300 points. If for some reason it holds and gets back above this high volume node, then I would expect a monster rip. But right now this thing looks like it's going to get killed even further. I have bigger picture, obviously very bearish, but I can definitely see this market doing some kind of bungee jumps back into these zones. But all these zones are going to be very good short areas as far as the thesis. So I come up with a thesis, meaning I guess what I think is going to happen. And then if the volume events that are real time, especially, speaking of which, I got something on here. Let me get out of a couple of these just because I'm not. We'll go over this trade here in a second. If the volume events, the real-time volume, align with my guess, my thesis, then I will trade bigger in that direction. So, you guys don't hear me on Discord. Hold on a second. I can't believe there's technical difficulties. It's first time for everything. Hold on, guys. You guys hear me on Discord? Or Dan, let me know if you can hear me on Discord. It says that it's on. Maybe if I refresh here. Hold on, guys, sorry. Markets are actually pretty dead for Armageddon right now. Let's try this again. Alright, Dan, let me know if you can hear me on Discord. Alright, so anyway, this is the most recent event in ES sell ice. There's a bunch of sell ice here. You can see it's been coming in this entire time. Hold on. Okay, he's got me now. And this sell ice event actually turned into a bullish event. I didn't do anything off of it. I was going to take an Izzy here, or I wasn't going to take anything here. I take that back. But I ended up taking, not on the long side, but we have a trade called hot knife through butter, one of the trading strategies, which I'll go over. I finally got the course out after 3 years. We'll go over that. But I tried an ATR out, couldn't go. Try an ATR, couldn't go. This is a strategy we call hot knife through butter, where you jump in right when it breaks the zone. A new event did come in here after that, but I still took this trade, and then the stop was here. So I'm currently short. It's the only thing I got short. And then I took a couple Izzy longs here earlier. We'll go over these gold, and this is the ES hot knife through butter and crude. So I haven't done much so far. You know, I wait for my volume events. I did take a couple really nice gold. There's a back in black here earlier, reversion trade. So I just put that course up too. So let me put this in before I forget, and then we'll go over all this stuff too. So this is my document. We'll go over this. Prices are increasing. Don't freak out if you're a member of my trade room. Your prices you're grandfathered in. And this we'll go over this, but you have until 4/7 to get in there. If not, this is what the prices are going to. My 4-year anniversary is coming up. I haven't increased prices one time, and there's so much more information from when I first introduced, came into the education world. So anyway, these are the new courses. Trading strategies in the ATR reversion course. So I'll be referring to this entire webinar. This trading strategies, every one of these, we've went over 7 hours of content in that course, all these trading strategies, and then the ATR reversion course. So I will post this in the YouTube and in the Discord. Any questions as we go? Try to post them in YouTube. I don't see Discord unless you tag me. I might be able to head over there. Otherwise, I don't see the questions in both. I'm trying to watch the markets, obviously. So, post this in here, though. All right. All right. So anyway, there was an awesome back in black here. One of the reversion strategies that we take. There's a bunch of sell ice here. I combined the zones. The market moved up into this there was prior action here too. These are usually A+ reversions as well, even though it's supposed to be the prior event when it moves into it, because again, the propensity for these markets to come back to the zones is ridiculous. And then when you get something else to help it, aka trap traders that are in an area, that helps ricochet it back to the zone too. And then here you had a GEX level. This one was perfect. So it came up here, bounced off this GEX. This is these are Mentor Q levels. You get discounts in that document I posted anyway. Bounced off of there, kind of, spun around here. Tried to break above my stop for this reversion trade. So you see the dotted line there. That was the one reversion, one ATR. The stop was way up here. Never even sniffed a stop. Came back to the zone and got out of that one. Then I took another one here. This was an A+. So I don't usually, so the definition of an A+ reversion is when you get event, and then your entry for the ATRs, the 1 or the 2 at the time, is in the prior event. I don't like to see the prior event getting an ATR out, but this one, there's just so much activity up here, I was fine with this trade, so I took the 1 ATR. There's the dotted line. This is A+ reversion, because it's into a prior event. Never sniffed the stop, back to the zone, to the tick, obviously, as usual. And then out of that trade. So the ATR reversion trade's working awesome. Doesn't matter. So this is the thing. It's like you wake up this morning, your head's spinning like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. These things are down so much. Should I sell? Should I buy? We have our rules. We have our trade events, and we take the trades. You just stay calm, sit here like a sniper, and you take the trades when they present themselves. Other than that, there has not been a lot going on. I did take a gold Izzy here, so I'm flipping back and forth. So I was just showing you shorts I took. Well, I also took a long. That's what I just showed there a little bit ago on that P&L. So this was an inflection zone. So these are. I got some stuff in CL too. So I lost my chart as usual. Hold on here. Where did it go? I swore off Thinkorswim. I'm going to get rid of it this weekend. I just haven't had a chance to. Hey, there it is. Where it should be right there. Anyway, these are the best Izzies too, where you get these huge moves. So there were events all the way down, but none of the events were bullish, right? When I finally got a bullish event, it was smack dabbing in an inflection zone. Took that trade. Huge winner. Not huge. I mean, I got out. It kept going, but I was fine with the trade. It was a good trade. Again, that was this guy here. I got out at the red lug here. One of the areas that I got. So in the trading strategies course, I go over how to draw those inflection zones. We go over the trade, and I go over how you can draw these for yourself. If not, you can get them as part of my trade room. What else? I just lost my train of thought here. Oh, and then we also go over exit areas too. So the market had ripped up to this red lug here, and I got out. There's got to be new lugs here too. But I call it lugs is short for lug with levels. Yeah, so it's just building lugs all over the place today. It doesn't usually look like this, but the market's obviously very, very volatile. The ATR and gold is 89, meaning it's rotating 89 ticks, almost $9 every 5 minutes. So very volatile. That's the great thing too. This is the zone drawing tool where it's drawing this iceberg activity. When you plug in your risk, it tells you exactly how much you could put on based on the risk level. So I'm risking $500 per trade here. I could put on 2 micros if I'm putting on a position trade. So this is where traders mess up the most, where they're overtrading their account. And they're trading too big for their account size, and then they blow out their account. And it will happen, trust me. You might get away with it for a while, but it will catch up to you. And then I took a gold Izzy here too earlier. We're going to take extremes too, so I might take a TikTok. We'll go over that trade here, but again, these are the best Izzies. This thing just whopper move overnight. I always do the sneak attack overnight. It did move to the high volume node. There was a question in my trade room. This is the FBB. It's an FBB, but this is bigger picture. On the move down here, there were really no events till down here. But yeah, I mean, you could have taken an FBB, but not really, because it wasn't really an event on the way down here until, I wouldn't take an FBB up here. If I was sitting here watching it move through that big balance was like this. I'm talking to you, Dan. You had a question, right? And the market's moving down the overnight trade because it still wasn't, the regular trading hours didn't open, and I got an event. Yeah, I would take it, but I wouldn't take this event now. It's already moved down and come back, so that's not a fail balance breakout. But what I did take is an Izzy off of this. So this was pretty much a scratch trade, but this is how I trade them, right? So the market, that buy ice or that sell stop run, which was a Dumb and Dumber, was right in that zone. I took that out of there. That was this guy here. This is Izzy inflection zone trade, where I look for an event in the inflection zone. I caught that. I got in aggressively. I got out of one here where something was up here. I'll look here in a second. But then the way I trail my stops is I don't trail my stops to break even just because I want to break even in case it comes back. Because these algos know you want to do that, and this is a zero-sum game, and they're trying to take your money. I trail it based on a new event. So the new event came in, and this is where I got in. New event. This is where I got out. So I scratched a trade. I got out of one and then scratched a trade. So that's how I trade them. And actually buy ice coming in here now in crude. I would probably combine these, obviously. They're back to back here. So like this one zone, the zone drawing tool, you can adjust your zones. So if you guys have been on my webinars for the last 8 years, you can watch me draw these manually, which was a treat, minus the treat part. And now it draws automatically. So then it gives you where you get in. That's that yellow line there, where you get out. So if I fill on my position trades, I force the market to come all the way back to here. To stop me out. That helps me avoid the algo nonsense when nothing's going on the best. We have auto entry trades too. We'll get into those, but that's the entry if I'm going to go long, exit if I'm going to go short, entry if I'm going to go short, exit if I'm going to go long. And then we just look for these events in important areas. That's what the trading strategies are. So I'm going to rename this to, I mean, it's going to be trading strategies, but it's going to be trading strategies / playbook, so people understand it's like, it's a playbook. I stole that from SMB, by the way, when I got in. So this will be trading strategies playbook. Again, 7 hours where I go over every one of these trading strategies in depth. Outside of market hours, there's questions. It's like I've always wanted to do that. I just never got around to it. It took me 3 years, so it's done. You guys been hearing me for 3 years saying I was going to do it, and it's done. So is the ATR reversion course. All right, I'm getting texts in my room. You're referring to the late event. What late event? So he's asking me questions about this up here. Yeah, what this stuff here? Yeah, you could, but this was overnight. This move was a balance. This was telling you something was up too. By the way, failed balance breakdown. This should have ripped off the page. Didn't do it. That's you don't expect that kind of move, but markets are going to do what they're going to do. That was a huge move, but yeah, off of that, you could have. But this move through this high volume node overnight was, again, overnight. So if you were sitting up all night watching it, then yeah, that was a trade. All right. Speaking of which, gold did a huge rally here. I wish I would have held on to those, but I did what I thought was correct. When it gets to the low big levels, you got to make decisions. But this is at least I did take this trade. So, any of these zones now are really good areas to short. If it gets back through this structure, so this is the epitome of a failed balance breakout. This was on a smaller time frame. It tried to break down and it did rally, but then it died. So, either way, these are, longer term trap traders. So, a lot of times when traders, they don't puke them out, they wait for it to come back. You just look in the mirror. I'm sure you guys have done this many times. That's what causes the next move down. So an event here in this zone or this zone, I have no problem shorting that guy, especially with this kind of move back up. So I'm still short ES here too. The hot knife through butter trade, went over this right in the beginning. So when you get an event and it tries multiple times, 2 or more times to get out, break an ATR out and can't do it. Once it breaks the zone, you jump in. So this is already a nice trade. I just got to see where I'm getting out here. There's been very few. There hasn't been one NASDAQ. Oh wait, I take that back. So something just fired off here in NASDAQ. Got some sell stops. Relative volume is normal, so it's not crazy. I don't see any GEX levels. So what we can do here potentially is take some back and black reversion trades. Here's an event. Here's I like to take them off of. It's not just GEX levels. So GEX levels are gamma levels where dealers have to hedge, right? So we already know that these markets tag the 1 ATR, the 2 ATR, the 3 ATR to come back to the zone. Happens all day, every day. I can show you 10 of them already today across the markets, right? When you get something else that helps propel it, it's even better, right? That's why I like taking the back and blacks on the webinars where I'm not. You can take these aggressively too. There's traders in the trade room that once it tags the ATR, they're jumping in. I wait for it to tag something important and start coming back. So this is called the back and black trade. So if this comes down, tags put support, I would probably put the 2 on here too, even though it's just below it, and take the 2 and the 1 back. So I'll put these in right now. Let me make sure I start this. I've lost about $4,000 real money in the last couple weeks because I am trading the big contract. Like yesterday, I put on 8 ES big ones, and then a couple weeks ago I put on 6 NASDAQ. I lost $2,000 in about 2 seconds because I thought I was on the micro. So I'm complaining to Bookmap about this process here. I love that you can cross trade, right? So you see how I just switched to the micro. So I can only trade 0.2 micros for position trades and 0.4 for the reversion trades. So I can't even trade a big contract. What I'm complaining about is you switch it here. It should already just switch because a pop-up comes up confirming. You shouldn't have to hit start too. So the other day I switched to micros. So I thought I forgot to hit start because the markets were whipping around. You don't have time to go through 18 steps, Mr. Bookmap developers, if you're listening. And I didn't hit start, and I put on six NASDAQ big ones and lost $2,000 in 5 seconds. So again, this is a real account, and that really hurt. All right, I'm going to take. So if this rips down here, I'll try to judge here. Let's see if it gets down to this put support and see if we're going to take the back and blacks. Other than that, position trade wise, let's see where we're at here. So this is an inflection zone, an ISI zone. So if it stretches back, it goes to prior stuff. You don't even need to really know what it is, but if you go back here, you can see these areas that I drew them from a long time ago. So they still react at these areas, right? So these are the areas, and this could be any area that you look at. It could be VWAP, it could be Bollinger Band, it could be Fibonacci, whatever you're looking at, demand to volume event, then you have yourself an excellent probability trade. Probabilities, not for sure. Everything in trading is probabilities. So this is what you call an edge. I already know the area is important, right? And then when you throw a real-time volume event, which is the best edge I've ever seen in trading, in that important area, now you got yourself a trade. That's what the trading strategies are. The important areas, looking for volume events in important areas. All right, so this is a stop run. So if this turns bullish, I will take this long, right? So that price is this yellow line on the zone drawing tool, 86.5, risking $500. I can put on 0.2. So let me put that guy in. Actually, I wanted to see where I'm getting out of some of this ES before this thing rips back on me. Hold on here. Are we in an important area? Yes, we're right at the bottom there. So I still got 3 on. I'm going to get out of 2 more here. So this was the hot knife through butter trade. So I still got 1 on. Now I let 1 ride, right? So I got out of 2 there. At the time I got out, let me see. I got out of 1 other one too. I can't remember what I got out for. So at the time I put on, I can trade bigger size too, because remember, this sizing is based on if I'm getting in here, stopping out here. Well, the hot knife through butter trade, where when ATR couldn't go, I got in right here. So instead of getting in all the way down here, I got in right there. So that helps your risk, where, I mean, you can trade bigger size. So I put on 5. I got out of, what did I get out? I got out of 1. I can't remember why I got out of 1, but now I still had more on, but we're at the bottom of that market profile composite, and you see it's kind of struggling. This is a prior one, that's why it's red. This is from like last August. See, we're right here. And this is a straight move through here. So if I got like a event right now, I would take, here we go, an important area, market profile. This is called the pick trade, where I can jump in. I would jump in and long. If I get an event and say it breaks down out of here, well, I can take shorts based on this area because it's a very important area. Anyway, I got out a couple more of my hot knife through butter. I still have 1 left. So now I hold the last one till either the major Ludwig level. This is how I trade, where I get really good risk reward on that last one, or an opposing volume event. If a new volume event comes in and it's bullish, I'm out of the trade. So that's how I trade, and very consistent. All right. All right, so I got 1 left. If it gets killed, I still have, at least I'm going to still have 1 on. If it comes back, well, so the other thing is I can take here now too. So remember, we were talking about back in blacks and NASDAQ bounced off the GEX level. There's no GEX level, but this is an important area. So if this, I can actually take this right here. I'm going to take this right here, the reversion trade. Hold on. Make sure I don't put on, here, I could put on 1 full one here. Of course, so again, I always joke, there's a camera in my office. Everything I talk about, the market does opposite. The minute I said I was going to get in there, it starts to run away. So I'm going to put on the 2 and the 1 ATR here. Hold on. I'll put it on this account as well. All right, so I missed the, so what did I just do there? I put on the, so we saw that market profile composite, right? Bounced off there. I put the 3 ATR on, the 2 ATR, and then I'll put on the 1, and I'll get out at the zone. So I didn't combine these. I probably should have here. I mean, these were half-hour apart, so I'm okay trading that by itself. I will watch this, though, if it comes back up to here. Wait, let me put this in if this pops up here. So this is the reversion trade because of the ridiculous propensity for these markets to come back to this zone. So I usually take them off GEX levels, but this did bounce. I'm looking for a bounce off an important area, right? What did this bounce off of? Right at the bottom of that market profile composite. So I'm fine with that trade. Should have put this on another account. Hold on here. All right, so this was the 3 I put on. The stop for the 3 is down, way down here. And then I put the 2 on. Stop for the 2's here. Make sure I get these in here. 7250. So again, the sizing, it gives you the sizing for the reversion trades. What I got to be careful with, and it'll probably burn me here. So I put on 1. Actually, I got too many on here because I'm risking $2,000 right now on this trade if it's wrong, right? So it's only 10 way I could put on 0.6. I probably shouldn't have both these on. Here, I just won't put this one on. If this comes back, then it comes back. But you know, for each one of these reversions, I'm risking $500. So if both of these lose, and this is at 0.6, I put on a full one, so I'm basically risking 1,000 and 1,000 on the 2 and the 3 here if this comes back and I lose on it. So you got to but this tells you per trade what you put on this. So this is a little aggressive here. Here, I'm gonna get out of one of these just because what was that? Something came out in my favor for once. All right, so I'm just going to keep the 3 on here because I can't. This is through a trading firm. I'm not going to risk $2,000 on this trade, right? So if this is my stop for this. Should I get out of a couple? No, this is right. Now I'm just trading to the back to the zone. Now I let it work. So this is a great trade. All right, somebody's talking somewhere. That's what that swipe was. You know, if you have trouble sitting in trades, this is the trade to condition yourself because most traders grab it. This is the closest thing to a scalp that you're going to get, right? You're defined, you got your entry, you got your exit, you got your stop. You put it in, you let it work. If you have a hard time getting in position trades, which most traders do because they sit there and watch the market do this and they watch their P&L lose a car payment, make a car payment, lose a house payment, they can't take it, right? So this will help you condition yourself where you know where you're in, you know where you're out, you know where the stop is. All right, so if you can do this enough times with this trade, then you can move to position trading and hold on to trades when it whipsaws for 4 hours straight, which most trades do. Looks like I missed a reversion here. So surprise, surprise, the market tagged the 1 ATR here. This is crude and back to the zone. I could show you again 10 to 15 of them already today. They happen all over the place. That's why we were trade from. All right, so if that pops back up here, I just have the 3 on. You know, if I had micros on, which I should have just switched this to micros, I would have I would have put both on here. But if that pops up there, I'm out of the zone. All right, that's working. This still hasn't broken out of this one, so we can still take the reversions. And again, I'm going to take an Izzy long here. I think I said.
10 seconds.
What's in 10 seconds? Oh, natural gas numbers coming out. See the
Build 29 BCF, build 29 BCF, and then expected build of 27 BCF. Just keep an eye on gas.
So that exit for this trade, by the way, is right in front of we call this a mini ATR. It's just 10% of an ATR. That exit for the trade, if I can get up there, is 12.5. So I was in the 3 at 75. So I'll put that in. All right. That's working. In the meantime, I think I said this was a. I know you can't believe this, but I lost my chart. Hey, there it is. So this is an Izzy, right? If this holds. So that was the Izzy zone. There's your stop run. If this moves out of here, I'm putting an Izzy long on. That entry's at 18,990. I could put on a whopping 2 based on my risk profile. Put that guy in. $90.5. So you can see these numbers down here too. So you can bring them up. So my long aggressive, actually I don't have that. Why is that not on there? There it is. 988 is my entry to go long Izzy here. All right, those are working. If this moves down here, then I could put the back and black longs on going this way for the reversion trade. On the short side, see if something, say it rips all the way up here, I would put on the reversion trades going back to this. So we'll see. Again, these are all different trading strategies I'm talking about here. We're talking about position trades. We're talking about, so here's your position trades where you're looking for bigger moves. Here's your auto entry fade trades, auto fade trades where you're jumping in right in the middle of the zone. We haven't had any of those yet today. And then we have the reversion trades. So these are just a couple. Again, in the reversion course, I go over 4 different entries. That's all available to you guys now. Did that the entire week of last week or the week before. I think it was the week before. I can't remember now. We did it live. We'll do it live. Just so I can get it done, right? It's like, when I work much better in this format where I'm talking through it instead of having us, talk to this camera and then we had questions. It was perfect, and I got it done. Now you guys have access to it. 7 hours of content in that course. All right, so we are long. Again, I got out of that other one. I didn't want to risk $2,000 on this trade, so we got the 3 on. See if we can get back to the zone. Again, guys, this is probabilities. When you have an edge, you just keep taking it. Do I know it's not going to do that? Nope, nobody does. I know that I see this thing. Again, I can show you 15 of them for today alone. That has very good odds to come back to this volume event. Why? I can't tell you the exact reason. A lot of times because, if paper or big traders are loaded up, they went out and they help. This is why I know this, because this is what I used to do, right? So say this was on a smaller scale, but say I was loaded up, I got long 1,000 in this area and the market did one of these and I'm like crapping myself, about to puke, have my finger on the trigger. Then I see it kind of holding. Well, I'd use my remaining bullets to help push it back to the zone, and then I would get out of the trade. So that's just, and then for some reason, this is like playing with the algos. The algos just know where this activity was, and they just push it back to these areas non-stop. Like you see the algos playing games here. So again, this is a different type of day. I have my rules, right? The only time you don't want to be taking these trades is when you see really heavy relative volume. Well, I'm not seeing heavy relative volume here, so I'm fine with the trade. Doesn't mean there's not going to be some tariff nonsense coming out. I've lost, I think, 38 out of 40 trades, and I'm not exaggerating, that a tariff headline is going against my position. All right, I got some crude stops here. So I think this is back into an Izzy zone here. So crude looks like it's going to get absolutely smushed too. I should draw some more zones here. Maybe we can do that here. If it dies down, I'll show you guys how to draw it. I'll go over it in the course too. That's what you call a fail balance break out, right? On a bigger picture term. I wouldn't take any trades here off of that. I mean, I guess you could, but it's a little far from that high volume node. This is a macro fail balance breakout, right? We're usually trading the smaller ones, right? Like this guy yesterday was one. And what should happen when you have those? Fail balance break here. This is what happened here. Fail balance breakdown rips, right? Here's one on gold that I keep referring to because I took this like 3 times and didn't get it during the day, and then it did a sneak attack. Fail balance breakdown here. That's what markets should do when they have fail balance breakdowns. Why? Balance areas are just traders that are placing bets. Longs, shorts, long, shorts, long, shorts, long, shorts. When it moves out of here, somebody's wrong, and you get a whopper move. Well, this one did move. You would expect the shorts are like, yeah, I got it. When it comes back, they're like, oh, crap, get me out, right? So that's what is going on, guys. The simpler you can think about trading like that, and that's what's going on anyway, but if you can think about trading in those terms, it makes things much easier to see. Are we getting tick extremes here? So I might get stopped out of this puppy. All right, so live. Again, guys, you just put on the trade. I don't know tick extremes are going to happen. I don't know, that's program selling, by the way, tick extremes. I don't know that, I'm sure a tariff headline is going to come out here any minute. Shinebox from Mexico has been talking to this entire time. I call her Shinebox, named Shine Bomb. But I'm sure something's going to come out here because it always comes out lately. And the market reacts every time like it's brand new news, right? It's like it's the same story every day. Hero, I don't know why this thing's all white. Let's see, keep an eye on Hero too. So this is interesting too. Hero's kind of turning up. These are the options dealers. Options dealers are big. They announced some new indicators yesterday. Of course, missed it because my computer blew up, and then I had to take it into the shop. So I missed the entire afternoon yesterday, which was not cool. gotta switch. This is hurting my eyes. What am I doing here? Account preferences. Anybody know how to turn this on dark mode by the chance? I can't. This is hurting my eyes. I usually turn it to dark mode. Anybody know? Please put it in for me. Help me. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. So I'm getting something about Russell. I didn't hear this event here. Let's see what's going on. Got to bring in my GEX levels. So there's my Mentor Q levels. And get discounts to those on that sheet I posted. Alright, so I'm not seeing any Mentor Q levels. They got to be way up here. Where are my Mentor Q levels? That's interesting. All right, we keep getting tick extremes, so this ES trade's probably going to blow out. But you don't see me doing anything stupid, right? If it comes down and stops me out, it comes down and stops me out. This is what trading is. You've got to sit through this. This is what this is doing. It's causing traders to, the whipsaw traders to death. So I know where I'm supposed to be in. I got in there, or at the time I was here. Or was it here? Did I not get in this at the right price? Oh, that's when I said there's a camera in my office when I was trying to get in here and it ripped up on me. That actually cost me like 8 points. So this one's gonna hurt. If this comes down, I'm gonna lose over $1,000 on this. If this comes down. But anyway, I'm supposed to be in there. Here's my stop. I let it work. I don't know what's going to happen next. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. That's why you just put on your trades if you have an edge. And that's the best edge I've ever seen. All right, I don't know why my Method Q levels are not updating here. That's not cool. Oh yeah, they're here. So they're way up here. That's why, because we're down so much. So obviously the options positioning will change tomorrow. But right now, so it doesn't have to be a Method Q level either. So this is kind of, sometimes you get this buy ice and sell ice. So these are just traders placing bets, bigger traders, right? That's why they're using icebergs. They're trying to hide the orders. Either way, this area is very important. So we can take reversions here. We can take potential position trades. Let's see where we're at. Russell's just getting smoked too. So, I mean, guys, this is the epitome of it seems like they always do the sneak attack in equities overnight. That is the epitome of a failed balance breakout. Through that, this is what should happen on those. And then bigger picture, that's a big balance. Again, traders placing bets, buying, selling, buying, selling. When one side's wrong, you get these whopper moves. And then there you go. That thing's already moved almost the width of this. I'd say half. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit to see this thing move all the way down here today. No idea. Wouldn't surprise me. Just, guys, it's common sense. The big longer term traders here, like the funds and everyone else, who thought, oh man, I'm going to buy this dip. This is like it's been the last 8 years. This thing's going to do a bungee jump. No, it's not. And then what are they doing? They're getting the hell out of their trade now, and that's what's causing this type of move. If you can look at markets like that, it clears things up significantly, and you make it very simple. Alrighty. Just keep getting tick extremes, by the way. So this is what I was just saying about the funds. When you keep getting tick extremes like this, it's program selling, right? So ES isn't really hitting it. This is all NASDAQ driving this. So you can see this thing's been under the zero line. Although this is just the NASDAQ tick. The universe of stocks, how many upticking and downticking. When the markets just hang at the tick extreme, which is 1,000, that's program selling, right? So this is the lowest tick reading of the day since it opened. A lot of times that causes one of those. We'll see. I have no idea if that's going to happen, but that's what the usual routine is. All right, so I will take the reversions here too. If this bounces off here, I'll take those to that guy. On the short side, there's really nothing for me to do on the short side here. Aggressively, meaning first move out of the zone. Algo guy, this is our filter for barks and licks. Two of the trading strategies. This guy is bearish. This is exponential moving average. So guys, you can see, like, if you're new in here and you're trying to follow me, your head is spinning. You're like, what is this guy talking about? He's talking about going long. He's talking about going short. He's talking about the algo guy. He's talking, what is he doing? Because I'm trading live. This is why, if you're trying to understand what I'm doing, you want to get the trading strategies course, right? It slows it down, and then you'll know what I'm talking about when you're in my trade room or on these webinars, right? Over 7 hours of educational content where I talk about 16 different trading strategies. Does it mean you learn these 16 trading strategies and put every one of them on? No, you pick a couple and you get really, really good at them, and then you add one, then you add one, and then within 6 months to a year, you have 3 to 5 or more, if you have the bandwidth, that you look for. That's all. You're just looking for different areas to put on trades. You pick your favorite ones and you master them. All right, so anyway, if this does do this, so the way I judge if this is a bullish or bearish event, if it tags the ATR. It's about to tag the ATR, which, by the way, is 61. That means it's rotating 61 points every 5 minutes, which is very, very, very volatile. That's why my sizing adjusts to that if I put on a trade. So that just validated. So now if we go ATR, retest, confirm, I'm going to put on barks and licks. See if there's liquidity down here. A lick is a bark. It's just trading to liquidity, so I would probably trade to this guy here. This is liquidity here. It's not crazy heavy, but it's heavy enough, and it's been in here a long time. That means traders, whoever's down here, wants to get filled, right? Another tariff headline comes in, this market's going to rip right through this. Well, that tells me they want their fill. They're not like playing games like these guys are. See these algos in here, whipsawing you guys to death that are in trades. This person wants to get filled. So usually the market, these are magnets, because the big money will push the market to their orders to get out or get in or whatever they're doing. No idea what they're doing. You don't need to know what they're doing. You need to know those are magnets. Doesn't mean it's coming down there right this second. No. I'll bet you by the end of the day it tags here though. What does that mean? Not a lot. You can use it as a thesis. Does it mean it's going to tag it right now? Like I said, no. This can rip 400 points before it comes down here. So it doesn't mean it's coming down there for sure, but that, again, probabilities. All right, so I don't have anything here to take this back in black off the 1 ATR, or I would. Hold on here. Let's see what we got. And we just keep hitting tick extremes, guys. It's like, yeah, so nothing here. You see it tag this. There's probably a trade up here, maybe. No, that was the first event all day in NASDAQ. But you can see the market. I don't know, to open here, tagged it. So I don't see anything for a back in black until we get to this put extreme. I really want to look at the hero, but it's hurting my eyes. And I want to read his, I didn't read his comments today too. Oh, we're experiencing an unexpected issue over with our dashboard. That's not good. Hey, there it is. That's how it's supposed to be. All right, let's see what's going on here. So this is the options flow. These are the big players. I mean, not the big players. These are the options dealers that are hedging, right? So you can see this is going the other way, right? So this is a great example of there's other big players in here today, right? So you can see $1 billion notional is a big move, right? Usually when you get $1 billion or more, this thing's just moved 1.5 billion. When you get that, usually the market does that. Well, what's going on here? It's not responding. It's spinning in place. The dealers are still hedging themselves, but it's not. The market's not moving higher. Why? Because there's someone bigger in here absorbing the dealer's action. So he actually, I gave him that, like, I didn't give him anything. The guy's a brainiac, but I explained to him, like, because he's all about options, and 85% of the times it's all options dealers and algos in here, right? But there's days like right now, you can see the hero's ripping and the market's not. Why? Well, the dealers are still hedging, somebody's absorbing. So when you see it spinning around, when that hero turns back down, this thing's going to get absolutely destroyed. So that's not going to be good for this reversion trade. I'm already down $1,000 on it, by the way. Yeah, this isn't going to be. Yeah, this is not going to. I'm glad at least I got out of the other one. This would have been like a. I misjudged my sizing here. It's gonna be, I'm gonna lose $2,000 just on this one lot if this moves down here. I don't know what trades on. The point is, there's bigger players, and you can just hear the tick extreme continue to get tagged, right? This thing is just sitting down here in the NASDAQ, and it's real close in the ES. So I just let the stuff work. We do have a stop run right here, so this is a potential sexy Gexy. This is an auto trade. I'm not going to get in if it comes, so this is a variation. Usually you want to see the stop run, you want to see opposing events into these GEX levels, right? Because you know the dealers are already going to be hedging here, like we just talked about. I want to see sell stops, which this is, or buy ice. But this one's just in front of it, so I'm not going to jump in here yet. If it tags this, I'll take a sexy Gexy here. And I can trade bigger size because I'm entering right, in the zone or just under it versus waiting for this to move out. This sizing is based if I go along here. Well, this one I can obviously trade bigger, which I'm going to do if it can pop down here just a little bit more. So this is just another trading strategy. Let me get this set up. Make sure I'm not putting on the big one. That was a blast. I've done it like 4 times. I've lost like $6,000 in the last month doing that, like live money with the trading firm. They got to be real happy that I keep having errors like that. It has nothing to do with the trading probabilities or strategies. It has to do with me being an idiot and not knowing that this is not on the right contract here. So this is a variation, right? The event obviously is, here's another tick extreme. All right, I'm going to get on these. Of course I missed it. You got to be kidding me, man. I told you there's a camera in my office. So I tried to get in on this bounce off of here. Cost myself 20 points. So that's what I wanted to see, though. I was trying to, I couldn't even bring my finger over here to click this mouse. I wanted to get in down here. And of course it comes right back. Probably can put on 2 more here, though. All right, so this is the sexy Gexy. My stop's way down here. But again, if I was taking normal trades, like which I still might, position trades, my entry's way up here. Sexy Gexys are a different trading strategy. They're auto entry. Great risk reward. And these are newer, right? I just started taking these recently. So there's the stop. Now I let it work. Not looking promising, though, with this. Again, I don't know what's going to happen. You could use this. This is tick strike. Again, not many are using this. I don't know why. Like, this is such important information. Like, when you come to an area and, like, if I was just judging whether I should put that on, well, if it blows right through there, you don't want to put it on, right? You're looking for the dealer reaction with the volume event. If these things are going crazy, you sit back and don't put it on. So, again, the tick strike's in that thing, too. I don't know why more of you guys don't use it. Right down here. Now we got buy ice coming here too. So this is another, I'm going to put this on this one too. I got to take advantage of this Gexy. By the time I get over here, it's going to be gone. That's not working out well. Let's put this on the live one. All right, so we had sell stops, now you have buy ice right here. So that's the trade. There's my stop. 43.25. So this thing, again, I could have waited a second, see these things getting smushed, but it's all right. If it comes down here, stops me out. Sexy Gexy. This is what you do, guys. If you get your setup, you put the trade on. Wish this stuff would have been firing off a second before I put it on, and I would have held off. But it's on. Now I don't do anything with it. I don't sit there and say, "Oh my God, this is moving low." If it stops me out, it stops me out. Actually, this is the stop for the buy ice. Oh, I didn't put it on. I didn't put this one off the buy ice though. All right. So I mean, this could have just come in a second later. I would have not put on that trade, but this one's gonna leave a mark here. I got something to do here too. All right, so the good thing is I took off the 2 here. I would be getting absolutely destroyed on this trade. So this was the reversion. So the volume is picking up here, the relative volume, but I didn't do anything wrong here. These trades are correct. Like I didn't, you don't want to take the reversions or the Gexys if you see heavy relative volume. The relative volume is not, it's picking up now. Obviously these things are all getting killed. But this is how you put trades on, right? As long as the only time I don't beat myself up on losses. I beat myself up on if I did something that I shouldn't have done, right? Other than that, you just put the trades on and let them work. So this is what I was talking about with these markets, by the way, right? The ES. So again, this thing ripped. The blue line is the hero. ES just spun in place. That tells me someone was absorbing this options activity, the dealer activity that we're buying futures. Right, and then what I say, once this thing started to turn down, what's going to happen? There's your next leg down. So that's a strategy in its own right. We don't talk about, because that doesn't happen very often, right? So I will take my beating here if that occurs when my stops are in, and I'll move on to the next trade. All right. Other than that, now we move to potential position trades, right? So if either one of these retests, I could put on Bark and Lick shorts, even this guy still. So this is the one bad thing about tick strike. When you have a losing position on, you get to watch it and listen to it. It's not fun. All right, trades are on. Whatever happens, happens. Stop out, move on to the next trade. Any questions, throw them in YouTube, please. So guys, this is the thing. It's like I put those trades on like I was supposed to. I don't know they're going to start hammering this stuff the second after I put those on, right? And I'm not stopped out yet anyway. So you got to be okay with this happening, right? Like, again, if you're not breaking your rules, if you have an edge, this is the main thing though. Most traders don't know if they have an edge or not. I've been trading this for 8 years, right? I'm well aware this is a different type of day, but you know, as long as the relative volume is not spiking, this is what I'm referring to here. I put on the trades, right? There we go. So the relative volume is not. I have no problem with these trades I put on. I don't put them on if I see that kind of relative volume for reversion trades or Gexies. I don't put them on. This is fine. This is fine. I mean, it's elevated. It's 150%, but it's not my stop sign for those trades. It's 200%. So now we just sit here and get tortured a little bit. You may get your wish if NASDAQ hits zero. Yeah, because I always joke that the markets are going to zero. So guys, this is like traders, newer traders, last 5 years that have entered the marketplace, retail traders, they're starting to get a taste of what could really happen in markets. And we haven't had any, you know, every sell-off for 5 years has done the bungee jump. Now it's just like lower, lower, lower. This can go another 500 points, right? You never know. Markets never have to do anything, meaning it doesn't have to bounce here. But traders that have been playing these bounces are blowing out their accounts, thinking it's going to bounce, right? All right, either stop me out or rip. Make up your mind, Mr. NASDAQ and Mr. ES. I'm about to get stopped out of this reversion. So I gotta be careful on this account too, because I'm gonna pull back. You don't want to pull back the. This is live here. You don't want. That's not what you want to see. This one's getting smoked. I didn't even put my stop in this one. Yeah, so you don't want to be losing $1,300 on a trade. Had a nice day going in there too. Oh, just missed the stop out for now. So yeah, I put too much size on that account too. So the stop for this one is at 59.25. So what's probably going to happen here, because I've seen it, it happens about 5 to 10 times a day. I'm going to get filled with a tick and then it's going to rip. But that's so I can't really control that. So I put this in and then I'll bitch the rest of the webinar once I get ticked out. Let's see if this is bouncing off anything else here. So I am still short one of those, one of the hot knife through butters that we got. That I talked about the position trade at the beginning of the webinar. So again, there's nothing for me to get out here. It's either blue lug down here, another 27 points away, or an opposing volume event. There hasn't been a new volume event here. The other thing too, I wish this would have happened actually on the way down. I could have got out of these. If I hear a new event, I'm out of the reversion trade. So I'm playing for this to come back to this zone, which it still could. Trust me, especially when you get moves like this and no events happen, you would be amazed how often it comes back to this, right? Hopefully I don't get stopped out. Probably will, but the point is, it's probably going to make it back to this zone eventually, especially with no new event. But if say I'm in this reversion trade that I took and a new event comes in, I'm out of that reversion trade. I'm not hoping it gets back to this zone, this event, if we get a new event. Unfortunately, I just didn't get. There was nothing here. There's no stop run, which is pretty odd, right? Like you would think there would be some pukes or something, but there wasn't. Still in the trade. That one came back. There was no reversion trade, and it never got even down close to here. So I'm still on. I'm still long the Gexy here. Well, we'll see. Just let the market do what it's going to do. All you can do is put on your trades with your rules and let the trade work. What's brewing here, though, is a nice A+ reversion. So you got event, event. That market, see how the entry is right in the middle there? It doesn't have to be in the event as long as it stops outside of it. I will gladly take that A+ reversion. I don't take it on this one because this is the trading firm. It's already working automated, but I will put it on my other ones. 1928.7. Again, guys, this is not to be mirroring my trades. It's to learn how to do this for yourself. This is for educational purposes only. 1928.6 is my entry that I'm educating you on for the A+ reversion. Round 7, risking 500 bucks. 28.6. There you go. And then for the stop for that, it's way up here. 35.9. So this is, again, you just put out your orders in and just let them tag, right? There's no subjectiveness to this. There you go. We'll see if we can get some kind of bounce here. At least the tick strike stopped going ape shit, as my grandpa would say. All right, now here we go with the headlines. Hey, baby, I can get one in my favor for once. No chance. Right, so Big V says bullish calls are driving up here now, probably new long positions being placed. Exactly. Well, the heroes ripped before too, and it didn't respond because there's just bigger entities in here. See how it's still ripping here? The market's not ripping. Because this is what I'm trying to explain. You know, Brent's all about options flow. It is, but it's, again, most days the options dealers are running the show and it's not them like juking people or whatever. They have to hedge themselves. So this starts happening. They're buying calls or selling puts, whatever's causing this flow that's bullish. The dealers are taking the other side of it. Then the dealers have to turn around and hedge their activity to make themselves delta neutral in the futures. So you don't even know anything about futures or options. You just need to know that they're hedging. The point is that thing's ripping again and the market is just spinning in place. There are bigger entities absorbing their action today. That's why you got to know the options flow isn't the only game in town. Most days it is. Today it's not working, right? So if you're trading up, if you're buying the CS on that option, you're like, oh my God, what is going on here? It's because somebody's absorbed. They're trying to buy this. Look at this big buy bubble here. They're buying. The options dealers are doing what they need to do. There's somebody in here is absorbing it. That's all. Here we go. Here comes the tick stop out, and then that'll probably rip off the page. All right. See, you guys got any questions? No questions. Throw them in YouTube if you got them. This is about 100%, by the way. If history is any indication, it's literally going to tag this to the tick and then do that. Mark it. Tag to the tick. Did I just not call it? Am I psychic? Do you guys see it? It's the same thing every day. It's unbelievable, these prices. Like, it's just unbelievable to me. I bitch about it. 25 years I've been watching this. Look at that. Tag me to the tick. It's already ripped almost 10 points. It's just, now you guys know why I'm crazy. Because I watch that 10 times a day. A day. Most traders don't get ticked 10 times in a year. Alright, so stopped out of that. I was just going to wait too much on this account. Let's see what I got left here on the pullback. So this is the one thing about these trading. So I'm using both. Apex is my main one. So all my trading strategies, all these trading strategies are on Apex, where I assign a number to each one, right? To keep them straight and then be consistent. And I'm not trading a bunch of stuff on one chart. The reversion trades and the Gexies, I'm taking on those on the take profit because they claim they pay in one day. So this one actually is in pay range. I want to see, anything over $2, because you got to put in your buffer. So the buffer's $2,000. So anything above $2,000. Technically I can get paid today, so I'm hoping to make $1,000 or $2,000 today. I mean, who's not? But if I do, then I'm going to request a payout, and I'll let you guys know if they pay out in a day like they say they do. Boy, how did I know I was going to tick here and then it's going to rip? So guys, no one could say that my complaining is not warranted. Like, it's unbelievable. And I called it right before it happened, did I not? So again, this could come back and it'll make me feel better. But it's not going to, because I've watched this movie a million times. All right, I'm still alive in this Gexy here. Oh, here we go. That's why Shinebox is talking again. Does she work, or does she just sit around her office and talk to reporters? Like, she's been talking for 3 hours. I mean, I don't know if it's been straight. Speaking of which, then we have, so you can almost bet your bottom dollar on this one. So when this stuff happens, or when this comes out here, so this is the squawk, you get access to this as part of the room too. So I still have one of those little guys on my position trade. So I will, if I were a betting man, which I am, these two, I'm gonna go ahead and say they say something bullish to at least get some kind of temporary saving in the market. So be prepared. That's an hour and a half. This is my time, so that's 11:30 Central. You can go ahead and bet on that one. Again, just a guess, my opinion, but I've seen it a million times. All right, let's look at another market. These markets are annoying me. This is crude. All right, so this just validated to the short side, but I could take back in blacks here too. Relative volume is not, it's fine. Let's see if we have anything. There's no GEX levels, so let's see if we're bouncing off anything here. This is the blue lug. And it's an ISI zone. I just looked at that, and it's real close to market profile composite. So if this bounces here, I'm gonna take these ATRs coming back. So I could put on 19 on these because it's, you know, it's all based on the volatility. Well, you don't want to put on 190. Actually, no. Take that back. So 19 micros. Come on. So I could put on 2. That's basically what I can do. And that's risking $500 per trade here. But this is just the one, so I'm fine with that. I'm going to take that puppy. Coming back. So this is off the lug. Back in black reversion, right? So I already know the markets revert to the zones. See it all day, every day. We have the blue lug here. I'm going to take those ATR, that ATR reversion. Put on this guy too. Again, educational purposes only. Don't mirror my trades. Live account here. That entry is 66.15. Alright, that's working. Hey, well, look at that. It didn't come back to that price again. I wonder if that's going to be the end of the move there. You little piglets. They're not going to rattle me today. Not yet, anyway. If it happens about 10 more times, then I'll lose my SHIT. But other than that, the thing is, it doesn't surprise me. It still upsets me. It happens so often. It doesn't surprise me. But I don't care if I trade another 50 years. It still upsets me because I can't believe for the life of me how those prices are that exact every single time I put a trade in. It's nuts. It's literally nuts. That was the exact price. So you can see too, like this is very likely going to come tag that. All right, see another tariff headline. So they're talking about countermeasures. I don't even hear what country he said. Countermeasures. So guys, this is the way it's been for the last. Basically, he started talking about tariffs 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Every keyword that comes out, these algos are jumping on. You can't predict it. You just got to hope it's not against your position. Right? Hey, at least this wasn't the low tech. I'm so excited about that now. I'm already out of the trade, but I just for personal reasons. All right, I'm gonna put that onto that gold. All right, I mean that crude. I got stopped out of this puppy too. This was the sexy Gexy. So you see what this just tagged too. Talking about that. They got their fill. Let's see what happens here. All right, so I'm still waiting to put on potential shorts. Like this is not validated to the short side. I'm going to get stopped out if it does, but then I can put on barks and licks potentially. Position trades. So all I have on right now is the Gexy, the sexy Gexy. So you see, guys, like this, and now it turns. So this is another great example. What's going on today? This doesn't happen very often. All right, I just stepped out of that Gexy. This doesn't happen very often. Oh, to the tick too? Well, that wasn't it. I'm sorry. I was already bitching on that. Don't worry, that's coming here in about 2 seconds. I filled on the reversion trade in crude here. That was to the tick as well. So my stop here. There you go. Now I stepped out of them. All right, so I got the reversion trade on in crude. Stops down here. Let that work. Hey, look at that. I got filled to the tick and then it swiped down there. You guys believe that? First time for everything. All right, so this is what I'm saying, though. Like, this is what's going on here. So the dealers were hedging again. Somebody absorbed it, the thing that turns around, and then the market just continues to get smoked, right? Like right here. So the hero players are getting killed today. If they're playing this move, the notional move. First one, hero did that, market spun in place. Kept going up, market spun in place. When it finally turns around, market gets killed, right? So today, there's other players in here. And they're absorbing the dealer action is what they're doing. What irritates me the most is, these markets look very bearish, obviously, and I only have that one little short on. I haven't had a chance to put a short on based on my rules. All right, here's another event, by the way. Sell ice, so I will put on an A+ reversion if this happens. Event, here's your entry. Stops way up here. I'll put on that if this rallies, and it should rally now because I got stopped out of everything that I was long on. See, this is what's going on, guys. It's like these keywords. The EU guys talking about the retaliatory stuff. It's just, you can't control it. You can put on your trades on a day like today. You could say, you know what? There's too many cross currents going on. See, this is reacting to this too. This trade is reacting to this as well. You see that? All right, my stop. I don't move my stop. Like that was where the stop was. I got to put the stop on this. Unbelievable. I'm not kidding you. So this will be 40, or well, I've had 2 trades now that this is reacting to. So this will be like 42 out of 44 trades, and I'm not exaggerating, that I've had on that if the tariff announcements have gone against whatever they're saying. The trade just rips in my face. It's unbelievable. I'm not exaggerating either. I've been kind of keeping a running total for my room. 42 out of 45, I would say now. All right, stop for this. Where do I put that? 80, 91. So guys, this is just a different type of day, right? Like there's just a lot of crap going on. The tariff stuff isn't different. This stuff's been going on for 3 months, but that definitely was a reaction to whatever that EU dude just said. I will bet on it. EU Chief Setkov. The block is ready with countermeasures. See what I'm saying? So this is what these algos do. Right here. It sucks. It's annoying. It has nothing to do with the edge whatsoever. You just have to deal with it. Right here. So these algos read this and they just unload on the market. Countermeasures. That's the keyword. Sell it, sell it, sell it. There you go. Well, diversified trade partnerships. That's bearish for us too, right? So that is what is driving this. That was that move in crude. That was that last swipe down in the equities. If you know what's going on there, let me know. Like if you know how to avoid that, or if you know what's coming out, let me know. I'm going to get out of a couple of these just because I have too many on this account. I'm so sick of losing money on these effing headlines. The other thing too, not that you have to skip trade today, but you might want to trade like double or a half size, right? Like it's just not much you can do. Just got to take it. All right, I'm still going to put on this though. This is the A+ reversion, and you have a Gex level here too, so this is even better, right? So if this pops up here, which it will now after the headline stops me out, here we go. It's just, this is where, for me, I have to control myself from going on tilt because it's like you get bad luck after bad luck, bad headline, here we go. Joke. Hold on, I'm going to put these in if I can remember what I'm doing.
Order filled.
Alright, so this is another headline. What do I got going on here?
S&P 500 here just started to pare back some of these losses. We're still down 4.17%. Still move to the upside.
This is a headline too. You gotta be kidding me, man. This is just brutal. There's no way you can predict this. None. All right, I got Russell A+ reversion on, and I got NQ. But something just came out counter there, but I'm filled. Stop for that one is I already put that stop in. This is gonna suck. I'm probably gonna blow out this live account today just on this effing tariff stuff. But this is every day now, so it's not. This doesn't surprise me. Told you. So I get swiped out of those trades, that Gexy, and the reversion trade that I had in ES because of that last headline, and then something else comes out, and it rips. All right. Regardless of trades on, again, I can't predict what's going to be said. 56.75, and this comes back to that zone for the A+. See, I'm starting to get upset, like real upset. But guys, this is the day in the life of a trader. You can't. I keep saying you can't predict this stuff. Here's the stop, 75.50. You could just put on your trade, correct sizing, don't trade, over trade your account, and just keep putting the trades on. Again, that's why I tell my room to do it too. When I'm worried, why is the order rejected? I can't put a stop in. I'm on the wrong side. See, I'm going on tilt and I'm making mistakes. So I'll show you guys examples here, right? So when the trade, you're losing on your trades, and you're like, I know I have the edge. I've been trading this thing for 8 years, right? I know it's the best I've ever seen. But days like today, I'm getting smoked right now. First of all, you stop yourself out. So what I explained before I even show you this, right? Most trading days are this: make a little, lose a little, make a little. Then you have a huge day, make a little, lose a little. Like I had one of these on Monday, which is very rare. Mariah Carey here, very rare. And then make a little, lose a little, make a little, lose a little. You have another big day. Traders, pro traders usually have between 5 and 10 days that make up their entire P&L in a year, right? Hold on, I don't even want to be on this screen. It's annoying me. But what you don't want is this. You have a big day, and then this, and you have one of those. You stop yourself, right? So if I keep taking losses on this tariff bullshit, pardon my language. By the way, this is going to work. You're welcome, because I got out of half of those on my other account. Of course, it comes within one tick. Doesn't fill me. This is a really annoying trade. I'm not going to lie to you. What was I saying on my rant? I forgot what I was saying here. Hold on. I got to make sure I got my... See, this is where I get in trouble when I have all these different accounts on. I forget to put stops in, and then I find out after I blow out accounts that all right, that's Russell. I'm out of the Russell. So remember I said if I get a new event, I'm out. Hold on here. I'm out. Lost $60 on that. Why? What did I just do? Because this was a reversion to this prior event here. Well, something else just came in. I'm not hoping it comes to this event if I get a new event. Now I trade off of that event as far as reversion, so on and so forth. So I'm out of that Russell trade. And I still have the NASDAQ reversion on here. Exit's 56.75. Guys, if you're struggling to keep up, it's because I'm trading live and I'm jumping from strategy to strategy. All right, I got that one in there. Wait, no. It's supposed to be up here. 75.50 is the stop. But the one thing I could say is, you don't see me freaking out like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? These are my trades. I have my exits, my entries, and then just let the thing work. Hope I don't get a Shinebox quote or a EU quote in my face. How does this not get filled here, by the way? I mean, ay. All right, I forgot what I was ranting about there. This is delightful, though. At least it wasn't the tick, right? This thing's coming back to the zone. I could put these on coming back if I want to again. I don't know if I want to keep... So this is a pretty new trade as far as the back in blacks. Like, if you get stopped out, I don't know if you want to keep putting them on because the market can keep doing this, right? So this is still a work in progress. This is probably going to come back now. What I'll probably do here, if it does make it back to the 2, I'll probably put the 2 on the 1. You could put the 3 on right here if you want. Here, I'll put the 3 on this account. Actually, I don't even. Hold on here. Do I have something on? Oh, of course I do. So I had a reversion on there that I never stopped out of in one of my live accounts, so that's not good. I think it was the 2 from earlier. So that could have blown out that account. I got a lot going on here, right? This is where I make mistakes. I'm trading the live account here. I'm trading live accounts for other strategies. I'm just doing too much. So anyway, I'll take that reversion if it comes back. But again, guys, there's just headline after headline, which is not surprising today, right? Like they did the tariff announcement yesterday. Now all these countries are coming out saying they're either going to agree or they're not, and the market just trades off the headlines. That's all it is. Not very fun though, I can tell you that. Oh, by the way, remember I said I was short DS? That's not ES. I'm still short 1 ES, but I still haven't got another event, so I'm still in it. So if it comes all the way back, it comes all the way back. The way I get out is for my last remaining portion of what I'm referring to is that hot knife through butter I put on right at the beginning of the webinar, or into the webinar. Right, this little dude, this little one guy still got on, right? I let that ride until it gets to the blue lug or an opposing event. There hasn't been either. Right? That's how I trade. If it comes all the way back and stops me out, then I got out of most of them. I'm fine with it. All right, where's the negative headline now that when I'm short? So it looks like a GCT or GCATR work. Missed that one because that's a winner. Hold on here. Let's take a peek. Somebody just set it in my trade room. All right, hey, we got a winner. Whoa. I didn't get out of this account because I forgot to put my exit. Hold on. This sucks. I had this over the pay point and I'm getting smoked on these versions. All right, so that one worked. We took the back and black off the blue lug, right? Tagged the blue lug. Never got stopped out. I got out of half of the other one because I had too much size on that one. But this one worked. Out of the trade. Get up. So again, guys, it's probability. You just keep putting them on. You can't control headlines. You just keep putting the trade on. You can be trading smaller on a day like today. What did you take this off of? This was not a back and black here, Dan. Not that you can't take these ATRs, but I wouldn't have taken the back and black. I want to see it bounce off of something, unless there was something else up here like a lug that got through these levels. I wouldn't have taken that one, but it did come back to the zone. Surprise, surprise. So that was the first retest there. All right. Should be getting a headline here any minute. So Hero's doing its best to rally these markets, right? Like, as far as the dealers are buying options, but it hasn't worked yet. There's just bigger players in here today. Yeah, that did nothing. Turned over, market got killed. Did that, did nothing. Turned over, market got killed. Doing it again, market's trying to go with it now. Maybe the bigger players are done with their selling for right now, and it'll probably rip. But this is definitely showing we could rip off the page. So we'll see. Here's another tariff headline. What was that one? Yep. Knowing what you just explained, why are longs part of your plan? Potential Etsy service. What are you talking about? Where are longs part of my plan? I have different strategies I'm putting on. Like this event here is a long event, which I didn't put on, by the way. This was an Izzy long here. It was through that zone, so I wouldn't put that one on. What did I just fill on? Oh, that was the ES. Yeah, this event was through that inflection zone, 750 to 722.
More commentary from Fitch ratings, they say tariff hikes will result in higher consumer prices.
So I wouldn't put on an ISI there. You know, these are zones; they're not exact prices. So it's like, say if the event was like right there, like right through it. This was too far. The event happened through that zone, so there's no ISI to go long off of this event. This is a bullish event. This did prove bullish. You see it tagged the ATR. So I can't put longs on if I have certain areas to put the longs on. The ISI is off the table. What else? Do we have anything else here? No pick. Didn't get down to the bottom of this. No slug or no I lug you. So nothing for me for my areas to go long off of. Right? So, but that is a bullish event, so the shorts are off the table. That guy. I still have the reversion trade working here. So it's going to struggle. See how it struggled at that GEX level? So, I mean, this isn't part of my trade plan where I put on trades, and for especially reversion trades. If I had a position trade on, I see it bouncing off a GEX level, I'll get out. But this trade's working. It either gets back to the zone or it stops me out. Now we just wait for a headline to screw me, and then that's on to the next trade. That's all you can do. I keep saying it. Guys, it's just important to know. So, what I was getting at when I was ranting is, you know, when you're having, this is what you need to be doing for any strategy that you're taking, let alone mine. What is going on? I love Thinkorswim. What I was going to show you here. So these are the trading. So if you go over here, so these are all my files. So this is part of the course, right? So when you're having a bad day, or you know things aren't working, or you're getting headlined to death, and you're like wanting to jump off your strategy and do something stupid. Hold on, where's it at? Trading strategies course. Right. So if I'm like this back in black, or this is A+ reversion, right? That I took off of that. Yeah, it was an A+. So I go down here. Oh, this is the trading strategy. This would be in the reversion. All right, come over here. No, that's the footprint. I don't want the footprint. Right here, prior event. And then you just go and you look at all your examples, right? That you've taken where it worked. It worked. It worked. It worked. It worked, right? In a year, you're going to have 50 or 100 examples. And then you just come in here and you look at all the time it worked. And you're like, okay, all right, I'm going to settle down. This is just a different type of day. It's just not working today. That some days stuff's not going to work. But you look at, 50, 100 of them. These are from the course, like I said. And then you just settle down. And you're like, okay, there's just outside influences today that you can't predict. And you just got to hope you're not on the other side of them, right? But I don't. This is what most traders do, right? Like even if you're following this webinar and you're mirroring my trades, which you should not be, right? You should be, if you have the same trades, if you know what you're doing, what I'm doing, then you should be putting the trades on. It doesn't mean you say, oh my God, this stuff doesn't work. What's that new trade room? Let me go check out that dude. No, if you know the guy has a system that works, his methodology works, and you adapted the trading probabilities and strategies for yourself, you just keep putting on the trades. If you get to your loss limit for the day, you shut it down. If you don't, you just keep putting on the trades. That's all you can do as a trader. So I might as well go on this rant since it's just chopping around here. Of course, I don't have it there. Let's pull up the course here and I can go over this rant. But guys, it's good for you to see too, like, I'm bitching, but I'm not like losing my mind. It's just, you got to accept it some days. You got to accept that you're going to get screwed on some trades. I rarely lose my mind. I will catch, that's the other great thing too. Like I still go on tilt, but I catch myself. Here we go. Here's another tariff. He just said something else and the market's ripping. I'm about to get stopped out of this. It sucks. What was I going to show you guys here? So this is part of it. I usually go on bigger rants here, but this is straight out of the course here. All right. So important. Or this was a whole section of the course. Identify my edges. That's the SI events. I predefine my risk. We know the risk and stop, or the entry and stops. I completely accept my risk, or I'm willing to let go of the trade. Correct sizing for each trade should be 1.5 to 2% of your trading account, right? No more. Or you're going to have a day like today where you're risking 10-20% on a trade and you blow out your account. It's going to happen. I act on my edges without reservation or hesitation, right? So it's like these are all correct trades. Like I haven't done anything wrong. There's no disqualifiers here. Did I say, oh my God, I lost on this last one, I'm down, I'm not putting this one on? No. If the trade's there, you put it on. If you hit your loss limit for the day, you just shut it down, but you keep putting them on. That's why, because it's probabilities, right? Pay myself. These are the areas I pay myself. This wasn't the full rant because it talks about how trading is just probabilities. And, you know, a great analogy is the casino analogy, where they deal cards and they know they have them edged. The math of the game is in their favor, right? They don't panic and shut the game down and close the casino on a day that some guy comes in and waxes them for $1 million. They keep dealing the cards, and they know over a series of hands, for you, a series of trades, you'll be a winner if you have an edge. That's all it is. You know, it's easier said than done. I'm very aware of that. But you got to get to that point in your career. You're never gonna be a successful trader, because you're going to be passing on trades. You're going to be jumping from strategy. Oh, this doesn't work. I'm going to go to somebody else, like I said, and then you're just very inconsistent, and that's why 95% of traders fail. Make sure I got this stop in for this stop out. I shouldn't be trading these live ones on these webinars because I just make too many mistakes too, and I can't concentrate as well as I should. See, I don't have the stop in here. Hold on, NASDAQ. Let me get this in so I can get stopped out to the tick. 72.75. Oh yeah, I have it in. So I don't change this either. So you see how that, because the ATR is contracting a little bit. See how I should be here. Wherever the stop is when I put the trade on, that's where it stays. I don't move my stop around. Trust me, I tried that, and I tried to save some money on it, right? So it's like it was at 75.50 when I put the trade on, right? This reversion trade. It was at 75.50. It's contracting. I don't say, well, I just want to. No, it's down here. I could save myself 3 points. Because so many times it'll come tag that new one, and then it'll do that, and then you're beside yourself. So I leave it wherever it is when I put it on, and you see it. So far, I survived that. I didn't get ticked out there. All right, guys, we're almost at the time. This has been a delightful tariff headline morning, but again, should have known better. I should have been trading half size today, just because these countries are going to come out, and a lot of them are defiant, right? But you did see one winner here. You saw the crude ATR reversion work. Yay! In there, stop was here. Didn't get stopped out. Back to the zone. I'm out. And I could put on barks and licks to the short side here if this comes back, for position trades, because algo guy is bearish. And I could put out a red rum here too. This is a variation red rum, right? The time. So red rum is when you get events in the ribbon and you fade it. Well, at the time it wasn't, but now this return to this zone is, so as long as this doesn't turn bullish, meaning tag the ATR for this event, I'm going to put on barks, I'm going to put on licks, and I'm going to put on red rum shorts. There's your entry. And then I'm going to get in, and then I'm going to wait for a headline to rip up and stop me out. All right, did have a winner here in the A+ reversion. I already showed that in gold, so this is just a tough trading day. That's the way it works. All right. That's it. Let me see if there's any questions. Bankroll chop day made me money. Now I want no part. It's probably a good idea not to have no part anyway, just because it's, there's going to be headlines all day long, guys. You were speaking on how options dealers were getting absorbed by a bigger participant. Yeah. So they, again, this hero, this is a spot gamma information. This is real-time options flow. So usually this kind of move, when you get when you go from minus 4 billion to minus, this is a 2 billion move, the ES usually rips 40 points. For this just to be spinning here, it's still happening. That means just somebody's absorbing their action today. Most of the time, 85% of the time, whatever this does, the markets do. The ES and NASDAQ, because it's the options dealers, they have to hedge with the futures, right? So you want to know this information, But today's just a great example on how it's ripping and the market's kind of spinning. So if this does make a notional move lower, you're going to get a whopper move very likely. All right, guys, that's it. Again, just a tough trading day. Stop yourself out if you hit your limits. There's always another day. Please listen to me on that. You listen to me on anything on this webinar, that's what you want to be listening to. There's always another day that will make a lot more sense than today. All right, that's it. I will see you guys next Thursday. I do this daily in my trade room. Take advantage, by the way, of the trade room pricing because it's going away on Sunday. Monday it's changed. So you're grandfathered in if you get in now. I already showed that. This goes for my trade room too. I'm going to post this in my trade room, but this is what the prices are going to. You got until Monday or Sunday night at midnight to get grandfathered into these prices. If not, these are the new prices. All right, I will see you guys next Sunday, or I mean next Thursday.